students, and parents of St. Greg's. Welcome to NAIDOC 2018. Today you will meet some inspiring women who are part of the St. Greg's family. They are mothers, aunties, grandmothers, and even great-grandmothers of some of our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students.
Women around us are role models for their families and others in our multicultural community. In addition to their family commitments, many of these women are educators, artists, police officers, lawyers, community service personnel, nurses, liaison officers, teachers, and warriors.
They lead by example as strong and proud Indigenous women. They encourage young people to take up every opportunity to learn and grow and become the best person that they can be. They show the way to a better future for us all.
We celebrate the achievements of women here with us today, representing this year's NAIDOC theme, Because of Her, We Can. We now welcome our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students and guests into the hall.
We welcome our guests and especially acknowledge the presence of elders from various Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities. Please take your seats. It is my pleasure to introduce Gawain Bodkin-Andrews to do the Welcome to Country, along with the traditional wishes in the Dharawal language. He is an Associate Professor with the Centre of Advancement of Indigenous Knowledges at the University of Technology, Sydney. He is also a traditional knowledge holder and speaker of the Dharawal language. The translation to English will be read by Braden Moran.
Firstly, I wish to apologise. Auntie Frances Bodkin, my mother, could not make it today due to health reasons, but she has given me the honour of presenting to you all a Dharawal welcome in one of the 4 dialects of the Dharawal language. We'll start with the English translation and then I'll offer the Dharawal language.
In recognition of Dharawal protocols,
Dharawal Nagun Uwingowa.
I give my respect to elders past, elders present, and elders future.
Guwu dia, guwu o, guwu ba, bunari duga owa.
I give my respect to the country on which we stand.
Galambang nalawa onya, bunari duga owa.
May you always see the beauty of the earth.
Niyingi bulima nandilita.
May you always taste the sweetest of fruit.
Niyingi diganduruon bata.
May you always feel the warmth of the flame.
Niyingi gadalang gambi miruna.
May you always smell the perfume of the flowers.
Niyingi nayama gambata gana.
May your dreams be happy ones.
Niyingi mangamai buchiri.
May your friends be with you when you have the need.
Niyingi nalawa gumu.
May your feet never hurt.
Niyini menawi ilabubu.
May you always hear the laughter of children.
Niyingi janaba birongurong nara.
Thank you for listening to these words.
Tajari guru nara omi.
Please walk in the sunlight.
Uru wonga nali nali ki.
Because of her we can.
Bidiga dali tajari guru juruli onya. Thank you.
Our prayer today was written by Aboriginal people for the visit of Pope John Paul to Australia in 1986. Please stand for the prayer read by Sam Canty.
Father of all, you gave us a dreaming. You have spoken to us through our beliefs. You then made your love clear to us in the person of Jesus. We thank you for your care. You own us. You are our hope. Make us strong as we face the problems of change. We ask you to help the people of Australia to listen to us and respect our culture. Make the knowledge of you grow strong in all people so that you can be at home in us and we can make a home for everyone in our land. We make this prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. So, in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
For at least 65,000 years, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander women have carried the dreaming stories, songlines, languages and knowledge that have kept our culture strong. We have learned about these things at our NAIDOC celebrations in past years, and we learn about them in our classrooms. Today we have the chance to learn about them firsthand. Everyone please be seated.
Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people are the first Australians. Women were there at first contact with the white Europeans who came to take over the black people's land. Black women were traumatised from colonisation. History shows that despite many adversities, they stayed strong, supported each other, and commenced a long fight for a better life, great opportunities, and equal rights.
This fight for justice has gone on for more than 200 years, through many generations of mothers and grandmothers demanding to be heard and acknowledged. They have marched, protested, and spoken at demonstrations and national gatherings seeking proper recognition of their rights and calling for national reform and justice. All the while, they have cared for their families, maintained their homes, and been there for their friends and communities. Their path has not been an easy one.
On screen you will see the names of some pioneering Aboriginal women who have had their strength to stand up for themselves and their peoples.
may not recognise many of these names, but you've probably heard the name Barangaroo, as it is the newest development of the shores of Sydney Harbour. Who was the real Barangaroo?
Located on the traditional lands of the Gadigal people, the Barangaroo precinct is named after a powerful Aboriginal woman.
She was a fisherwoman, but she was also an elder by the time that she married Ben Long, and she was very highly regarded and highly respected. She wanted to continue her culture, Aboriginal Gadigal culture. She wasn't going to be swayed to take on the new European culture at all.
Barangaroo and Bennelong owned Goat Island. Aboriginal people would canoe between the islands because it was only half a kilometre to Ballast Point, to Balmain, to McMahon's Point, to Ball's Head and to Barangaroo. And this intimacy allowed them to run a community.
I hope what this will do is to really highlight who Barangaroo was and the significance that she played at that time in Australian history.
Women like Barangaroo led the way for modern women such as the women whose names are on the screen now. You may recognise some of the faces on the art screens too.
The history of black women in this country is often not a pretty one. Their battles for recognition and equality have been many. They continue to fight sexism, racism, prejudice, misunderstanding, and we all need to learn the truth of this. Their achievements, their voice, their unwavering passion gives First Nations people strength. Women have empowered past generations and they have paved the way for generations to come. They are proud of who they are and what they can and have achieved. Here are a sampling of black women's history in Australia.
I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a blood, gonna drown a mind. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me. on. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be, this is me.
Please thank our guest dancers from St Patrick's College. They have shown us that personal power does not always come with a display of outer strength in something that's such as a demonstration or a march. In fact, personal power can be quite the opposite. It can be quiet and graceful and elegant like our beautiful dancers. Inner strength like this can be a greater power than any outer display. My name is Yaron Fair Townsend, and I would like to introduce you to my mother, Vicky. My mum looks after my dad and 6 children. My mum is a human rights lawyer working with Indigenous women and children. She is going to tell us about Didiri, deep listening in silence.
Thank you, Yaz, or should I say, thank you, son. I acknowledge that I am on Dharawal land. I acknowledge all Aboriginal people here this morning, and I acknowledge all of those families that have travelled far distances to celebrate with their sons, NAIDOC. So welcome. I welcome all Aboriginal women and mums of our Aboriginal boys here at St Gregory's College. My name is Vicky. My family, my mum was born on Biripi land. And for those of you who are not familiar with Biripi land, it's the land of Taree. I acknowledge the women that have gone before me in my family, the senior elder in my family, Auntie Susie Russell, my aunt, Auntie Janet Smith. I'm mum of Yaron, Marley, Bindi, Dani, Kari and Marinda. And because of the women in my family, I can. Today we are celebrating the significant and sacred role that Aboriginal women hold in our community and in our families. To all strong Aboriginal women, may we be them, may we know them, may we raise them, may we be inspired by them, and may we inspire them. Often chained and treated like animals, as Aboriginal women experienced during historical and painful times, but yet Aboriginal women have responded and fought for justice, fought for their human rights and their equality and their place on this land. Aboriginal women have fought to create safer places for our children in medical services, in legal services, in schools. And to our Aboriginal boys here at St Gregory's College, your community is so proud of you. We are proud of your decision to access education here at St Gregory's College. So the women before you will say to you, take every opportunity that will realise your dreams. Despite the enormous contemporary challenges that Aboriginal women face today, racism, negative stereotypes, and myths and perceptions about us, I also see in Aboriginal women an internal strength, a quiet courage, a strong presence without physical strength. And I always ask myself, where does this inner strength come from? Is it strength from adversity? I think the answer lies deep within us. In the words of an Aboriginal woman, Dr. Miriam Rose, it is what I would call our Dadiri. Dadiri is an Aboriginal word meaning inner deep listening and a quiet stillness. Dr. Miriam Rose is an Aboriginal elder from the Daly River. And Dr. Miriam Rose served as the school principal of the local Catholic primary school in the Daly River. In 1975, Miriam Rose became the Northern Territory's first fully qualified Aboriginal teacher. And Dr. Miriam Rose writes about Dadiri, and she says Dadiri is an internal strength, a quiet courage that many Aboriginal women I know display. And many Aboriginal women here today who I have known for many years, and I do have to acknowledge Jenny Munro. Jenny Munro and I were at law school about 20 years ago, so it's great to see you, Jenny. The Dadiri reflection is about tapping into a deep spring that is within us. I would now like to invite the mums, the cousins of our Aboriginal boys here at St Greg's to the stage as we share with you Dadiri. Because of these women, we can. Dadiri, listening to one another, a special quality, a unique gift of the Aboriginal people is inner deep listening and quiet still awareness. Dadiri recognises the deep spring that is inside us. It is something like what you call contemplation.
The contemplation way of Dadiri spreads over our whole life. It renews us and brings us peace. It makes us feel whole again. In our Aboriginal way, we learnt to listen from our earliest time. We could not live and use useful lives unless we listened.
We are not threatened by silence. We are completely at home in it. Our Aboriginal way has taught us to be still and wait. We do not try to hurry things up. We let them follow their natural courses, like the seasons. We watch the moon in each of its phases. We wait for the rain to fill our rivers and water the earth. When twilight comes, we prepare for the night. At dawn, we rise with the sun. We watch the bush foods and wait for them to open before we gather them. We wait for our young people as they grow, stage by stage, through their initiation ceremonies. When a relation dies, we wait for a long time with sorrow. We own our grief and we allow it to heal slowly. We wait for the right time for our ceremonies and meetings. The right people must be present. Carefully preparations must be made.
We don't mind waiting because we want things to be done with care. Sometimes many hours will be spent on painting the body before an important ceremony. We don't worry. We know that in time and in spirit of the Diri, that deep listening and quiet stillness, the way we will be made clear.
We are like the trees standing in the middle of a bushfire sweeping through the timber. The leaves are scorched and the tough bark is scarred and burnt, but inside the tree the sap is still flowing, and under the ground the roots are still strong. Like that tree, we have endured the flames and we still have the power to be reborn. Our people are used to the struggle and the long waiting. We still wait for the white people to understand us better. We ourselves have spent many years learning about the white man's way. We have learnt to speak the white man's language. We have listened to what he had to say. This learning and listening should go both ways. We would like people in Australia to take the time and listen to us. We are hoping people will come closer.
We keep on longing for the things that we have always hoped for, respect and understanding. We know that our white brothers and sisters carry their own particular burdens. We believe that if they let us come to them, if they open up their minds and hearts to us, we may lighten their burdens. There is a struggle for us, but we have not lost our spirit of Didiri.
There are deep springs within each of us. Within this deep spring, which is the very spirit, is a sound. The sound of deep calling to deep. The time for rebirth is now. If our culture is alive and strong and respected, it will grow. It will not die, and our spirit will not die. I believe the spirit of Didiri that we have to offer will blossom and grow, not just within ourselves, but in our whole nation.
I would like to introduce Year 11 student Samuel Morris. Samuel's family have recently had their Aboriginal ancestry confirmed. This is a difficulty that many Aboriginal people experience as an effect of the stolen generations. Samuel is going to perform Crazy in Love by Eden. Please welcome him.
Looking so
ran so quietly. Who would think you did? Look at what you did to me. Tennis shoes don't even need to buy a new dress. If you ain't there, there's nobody else to impress. It's the way that you know what I thought I knew. It's like the beat in my heart skips when I'm with you. But I still don't understand just how your love can do what no one else can. Got me looking so crazy right now. Your love's got me looking so crazy. Got me looking so crazy right now. Your kiss, you got me hoping you'll save me right now. Got me hoping you'll save me right now. Your kiss, you got me hoping you'll page me right now. Looking so crazy in love. You got me looking so crazy in love. Oh, 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 no.
Thank you for that, Samuel. It's great to have another brother here at St. Greg's. Now please welcome our special guest speaker, Ms. Jules Mason, to the stage.
I would like to acknowledge the Dharawal people who are the traditional custodians of this land on which we stand upon today. I would also like to pay respect to elders past and present of the Dharawal nation and to extend the respect of other Aboriginal people here today. My name is Julianne Mason and I'm from the Dharawal and Wiradjuri nations. My mother is from the Dharawal nation and my father the Wiradjuri nation, although I was born and have lived my entire life in Dharawal nation. From a young age, I had a dream to be a police officer and completed my HSC at Picton High School in 1996. I worked from a young age, played netball, footy and cricket growing up out at Thelmare. After leaving school and attaining my HSC, I didn't achieve the results I needed to join the police force. I applied for a position at a conveyancing firm and I was offered a traineeship, which I completed in 1998, which gave me the qualification to apply for the police. In 1999, I got married to my husband David, and we purchased our first home together in Bargo. I still really wanted to join the police, so I applied in 2001. In January 2002, I started at the Police Academy down at Goulburn and completed my first subjects in my Diploma of Policing. On the 30th of August 2002, I graduated from the New South Wales Police as a probationary constable. This was a very hard time financially for myself and to be away quite young from my husband. Without his support and the support of my family, I wouldn't have been able to achieve it. I was first stationed at the Oaks, where I spent 6 weeks with my first buddy, as they call it in the police, who my children still call Uncle Chris today. After that 6 weeks, I went and worked at the Camden Local Area Command, and the next 8 months I completed my diploma in policing practice, and I actually surprised myself and achieved quite high marks when I completed that. I obtained the rank of constable on the 30th of August 2003, and for the next number of years I worked between Picton, Barrel, Camden, in general duties, assisting in youth liaison and police development roles. In June 2005, my son Heath was born, and I was very fortunate that I was able to take maternity leave and stay at home with Heath for 10 months. After going back to work, I worked part-time doing afternoon and night shifts, which allowed me to spend time with Heath but still financially contribute to our family. In 2008, one day when I was out jogging, I felt a slight lump in my leg and went to the doctors and thought I better check it out. I had some scans and they told me that nothing was wrong but we'll remove it just in case. I was booked in for surgery and thought I'll be sleeping all day, so I went straight from night shift to the hospital. In May 2008, I received a call from the surgeon saying he was flying back to Australia and he needs to operate straight away as I had an aggressive form of cancer. Sorry. The following 18 months were very unsettling, and after 3 surgeries, I was extremely lucky to have supported my family and friends during this time. Sorry. And although Heath was only 3, he saw a lot during this time. Actually, on Monday I received, had saw my oncologist for the last time because I've been cancer-free for 10 years. In August 2010, our second son Drew was born, and whilst on maternity leave I decided that I probably should find a bit safer job having 2 children. It was at this time I decided to apply for the role as the Education Development Officer at Campbelltown, where I'm currently working today with 2 other staff, and my role is to look after 300 staff and make sure that their training is completed and they do what they're meant to do. Whilst working with the New South Wales Police, I've completed a number of internal and external courses. I was actually only speaking to Julie this morning, and I think it's in excess of 50 courses, being from half a day to like weeks and months and years. I'm currently studying a diploma in HR management, which I have 1 subject to go, which I'll be completing in a few weeks. I've also had the opportunity to teach in 2014 and 2016 at TAFE on the course for the policing subject of iProud. Every year we have to complete weapons and defensive tactics training, more recently with the active armed offender training, with how things are changing in society. This training has changed a lot in the last 16 years, but I still do it because I still want to contribute to the community and stay operational. Once completing my diploma of policing practice, I thought my study days were done. I'd finally achieved my life dream of being a police officer. Sorry. But I learnt very quickly that I needed a new challenge in life, and have continued to study both inside and outside of the New South Wales Police. I'm very fortunate that I've been given the opportunity, but it's also been very difficult as study and academics doesn't come naturally to me. But I believe in life if we choose our own path, and we need to set goals to achieve them. One day I hope to study psychology. It might take me years, but I know I'll get it done. I believe that education is so important and you never stop learning. All of this wouldn't have been possible without the support of my husband, children and family. Especially in recent times, I've travelled a lot and been away from my family to complete my recent study. I've been very fortunate to have had some very strong female role models in my life. From a young child, I had my mum, Ma, 2 aunties. They've always told me you can do whatever you want in life, you just have to work hard. I'm very fortunate to have had some supportive lifelong friends who have always been there. My mum has been a big inspiration with education, going back to university when she was 50 years old and studying. I thought Mum left school at 16 and could go back in university was truly amazing. I remember being about 8 years old and going to work in the school holidays with my auntie at her news agency. This showed me at a very young age, if you wanted things in life, you had to work hard. And I was so excited to get up and spend time with her. I'd wake up at 5 a.m. to go to work. My mum, Ma, and these two aunties always taught me from a very young age that people might be smarter than you, but it doesn't make them a better person than you. You have to just keep working hard and worry about yourself and be happy with yourself and your achievements. I really hope that the young people that I come into contact with, and especially my own boys, have been able to deliver this message. I also believe that no matter what life throws at you, you just have to keep waking up every day and living that day as a new day. My journey in life has been through the support of my family, friends, but in particular my very young age, my mum, Ma, Auntie Julie and Auntie Di, and it's because of her I can. Thank you.
I'm going completely off script and off schedule here to tell you that this beautiful, beautiful woman responded to my call for help. Was it yesterday or late the day before, Jules? Yesterday. I found out that the guest speaker that I booked last October couldn't come because of health reasons. And I rang Jules and I said, could you possibly? And she said, I'm very nervous. And I said, you'll be wonderful, just be who you are. Just show the boys your inner beauty and your inner strength. And she's certainly done that. Please say thank you again.
Thank you so much for those inspiring words, Auntie Jules. The NAIDOC theme, Because of Her, We Can, will not be complete without giving our attention to Mother Earth, known by many names in multiple cultures, including Gaia. She is also known as Najini in some Aboriginal areas. But whatever we call her, she is truly mother to all of us. She provides for our every need, our basic physical needs of water, food and shelter, and the higher order needs of the spirit. The company of each other and the many forms of animal and bird life, the beauty of a sunset, the cooling waters and shade of trees, and the warmth of her fires. She blesses us with her generosity every moment of every day.
As one we walk this earth together. As one we sing to her our song. As one we love her. As one we heal her. Her heart beats with our own as one. As one we join with her our as one we feel her sacred song. As one we touch her. As one we heal her. Her heart beats with our own as one. As one we walk this earth together. As one we sing to her our song. As one we love her. As one As one we join with her, our mother. As one we feel her sacred song. As one we touch her. As one we heal her. Her heart beats with our own as one. As one we walk this earth together. As one we sing to her our song. As one we love her. As one we heal her. Her heart beats with our own as one. As one we join with her, our mother. As one we feel her sacred song. As one we touch her. As one we heal her. Her heart beats with our own as one.
We must honour our Mother Earth. We must honour our women, our mothers, our grandmothers, our teachers, sisters, neighbours and friends. Women have a deep wisdom which is different to a man's point of view. That concludes our NAIDOC Assembly. Please stand for the Sultan.
Would the Indigenous students please line the aisle now? All our wonderful guests, I invite you to walk through this guard of honour that the boys are forming for you. This is a show of their deep respect. If you would like to walk through and exit the hall, we have morning tea waiting for you down in the foyer. Okay, boys, as soon as the sub-tool is finished, Indigenous students, I need you to come back and take a seat, please. Thanks, Mr. Malone.